went to bed at 10 o'clock. And why 10 o'clock and not 9:30? Because happy first day of spring, spring equinox. He gets to go to bed at 10 o'clock. And um, I got really angry again in the last half hour. And, um, there's some things that I talk about, and I think that if I don't say the person's name and they know that I'm talking about them, then maybe they should take a look at their behavior. Um, and 4 messages. Okay. And first of all, it's a little cold in here. And second of all, I looked at the barometer and it is over 30 and rising. And it was raining today, and there is spring tree pollen in the air. All of those are migraine triggers, plus 4 hours sleep, which is actually a good thing because I got 4.5 hours sleep 2 nights ago and was still up till 10 o'clock this morning, which is not good. And then I woke up 4 hours later. But why is that good? Because combined, that's one day's sleep. And maybe I'll wake up earlier because if I keep going to sleep really late, like early in the morning and sleeping during the day, then I can never reset my sleep schedule unless I stay up all night and go to bed the next night. And with my medical issues, I can't do that. So my schedule's been upside down for a long time. And I am going to leave the replay up. And I see that one person has joined this broadcast. And um this year has been really hard. And yeah, I've seen how people have talked about when they were home with their kids, that their kids were driving them crazy because they were left sometimes alone to deal with multiple kids. But it's a very different situation being completely alone for over a year with medical issues. And, you know, that word codependent, it means something. It means that I need to do a better job at working on my issues and not try to fix people that ignore my advice. And then when they have a problem that I warned them about years ago, other people are stepping in to help them. Well, that's great that they have people stepping in to help them so they aren't going to end up homeless at the moment. But I said, make a budget, show it to me. I said that to 2 different people, and neither one of them listened to me. And, one of the triggers for a migraine threshold is if you put everything on the list at the same time: spring tree pollen allergy, not enough sleep, rising barometer. The more things you put on the list at one time, the more likely you are to have a migraine. And I haven't been taking my magnesium, and I actually do know where it is, but I did drink some Gatorade. And I don't know that there's magnesium in there, but there are electrolytes. And one of the things that's been making me really angry recently is about the vaccines and people that like just have insane reasons for getting a vaccine because they want to have a holiday meal with their family. And it's like, that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. That's not a reason to jump the line. But then once I got done being screaming mad about how dare you jump the line just because you want to have a holiday meal with your family for Easter and, well, around Easter, and having other people say, well, you need to go get a vaccine so we can all get together and have a meal. That's not how it works. You look at the rules in your state and you don't go ahead of people like me that have been sitting home for a freaking year alone in a high risk category because you want to have a meal with your family members. That is not how it works. But once I calmed down, now there's 9 people listening. Once I calmed down, I realized, okay, look, I'll put on my lawyer hat and make a case for what they said about why they should be able to get a vaccine. And no, being an essential worker or volunteering in a public place twice a week does not make you eligible. Essential workers are not eligible yet in Oregon. But once I got done being screaming mad about the crazy, insane reason, okay, I can make a case for why that person has in-home someone helping them in home with their medical care, like medical issues, as in if you have any type of any type of Alzheimer's or neurological or brain type issues and you get COVID, you're going to be in trouble because you're going to have it's not good. And if I can make a case, then Brandon, you can come back another day when I cover something like figure skating that's not so triggering, okay? And wait, what else? Sorry, I'm reading the comment above that. You kind of remind me of your mom, I'm reading this. And maybe if you're being choked by older men, you should choose better partners, Brandon. All right. What I was saying was, and yes, I said that I was angry. And I also said that that's a risk for me getting a migraine if I don't calm down. But I was saying that once I calm down, I made a case for then I shouldn't have to wait till March 29th because I can make a case for I have in-home services because people have been helping me for the last year because I'm in a high risk category and I've hardly been able to go anywhere. And I'm not talking about the irrational fear of getting the mail or taking a walk. I'm talking about the risk of what would happen if I got COVID, which, as I mentioned, is also bad if someone has any neurological issues if they were to get COVID. So I said, okay, I can make a case for why I should be able to get a vaccine as someone who's having in-home services, whether or not the people are able to come in right now because of the COVID risk. If they're coming to my door and helping me with food or transportation or getting my prescriptions, that and I had several medical providers reply and say that they agreed that I qualify for a vaccine. And Dana helped me get appointments for me and one of the people helping me. And unfortunately, my doctor said that I had to cancel the appointment because, in case you're not aware, if you get a COVID vaccine and then you go for a mammogram, it can show up as swollen lymph on the side that you got the COVID vaccine. So they don't want you getting a screening mammogram within 4 to 6 weeks of a COVID vaccine. You should either get the mammogram first or wait 4 to 6 weeks. But because my mammogram is being ordered as diagnostic with an ultrasound, I don't know if I have breast cancer. I know that my mother died of premenopausal metastatic breast cancer, and I have gone a year and more than 2 months past the year when I was supposed to get a screening mammogram, and I have symptoms that could be, hey, you haven't exercised, you've lost muscle tone in your legs, like, is that breast cancer? Is it a stroke risk? Or is it that I need to ride the bike? And why am I talking to you 12 people and not on the bike right now? Because I got 4 hours sleep. And if I ride the exercise bike at 1 in the morning, it might affect my sleep. So I will try to ride it in the morning. And and yeah, this pandemic has had really bad effect on me. I have OCD and anxiety and depression. I used to have weekly acupuncture appointments. I've lost access to almost all of my acupuncture appointments. I've gone I've maybe had 3, 4 acupuncture appointments all in the last year. I've had 0 chiropractic appointments. I've been left to deal with everything myself, and it's had a very bad effect, and I need to do something about it. And if this is too much information, then you can leave. You don't have to stay. But like maybe I just gain weight in both breasts. That's one of the areas people can gain weight. Although one thing that's interesting is I've only gained 5 pounds in the last year. So I haven't gained a lot of weight, but I may have lost the muscle tone in my lower legs. Like, am I dizzy because you're not supposed to sit for so many hours and not stand up and not walk and like, is it a stroke risk? I don't know. Is it a reason I need to take better care of myself? Absolutely. And um so I actually had the COVID vaccine scheduled for Friday, which I had one on Monday that like at a drugstore scheduled, and that Dana helped me get both appointments, the one at the airport, but the drive-through, but my doctor said I had to cancel the appointment until after I have a screening mammogram, and I mean a diagnostic, an ultrasound. And so now I have to wait. And if there is something wrong, is it related to menopause? Is it related to not taking care of myself for the last year and not exercising and not taking magnesium? I hope there's nothing wrong with it. If there is, the longer I wait to get it checked, the more chance I could die. And so I'm going to go in and get it checked. But no, I'm not going to go in at 8:30 in the morning when I haven't been sleeping at night. Whoa, sorry, I just jumped when the TV turned itself off after the hour delay. The hour delay just expired. I'm not going to go in at 8:30 in the morning. They already read my test while I'm like result while I'm there, because otherwise I will worry for days and not sleep. Like, is this the day they're going to tell me I have breast cancer? That's what it's like every time I go into one of those appointments. And so, I mean, my mother died with all of her bones breaking. It was not good, and it should have been diagnosed. They said if you have pain, it can't be breast cancer, and it wasn't diagnosed till it was a golf ball sized lump. 6 months later, when my father made her go back to the doctor, and just because you have pain doesn't mean it's not breast cancer, because she had metastatic breast cancer and died 32 days after her 41st birthday with all of her bones breaking. And that is not the way I want to go out of this world. And when I saw that Zippy Lomax, who's a public live streamer who is covering the protests and is talking about breast cancer, that treatments that she's now having on TikTok, and one of her video went viral, that got my attention, and I thought I should go in and get my mammogram. But the only reason I actually scheduled it is because I knew about the recent what came out about it. It can show up on a mammogram as swollen lymph and be like something that may get written off as related to COVID vaccine when it could actually be cancer. So it's probably better to not have that be a question on the mammogram. And so that's when I called and scheduled the mammogram, and they told me I had to talk to my doctor. They wouldn't do a screening mammogram within 4 weeks of a COVID vaccine, but in terms of diagnostic, they said to talk to my doctor, and I was told by my doctor to cancel the vaccine. And so, and if I hadn't gotten that mad at the person who wanted the vaccine for a ridiculous reason of family wanting to get together to have a meal, and like I said, when I put on my lawyer hat, okay, I can make a case for why she should get a vaccine, and then I damn well also should qualify then. And like I said, I had an appointment, I had to cancel it because my doctor told me to cancel it. And so I need to take better care of myself. And in terms of blocking people, you don't need to block people that run from their problems, because they're never going to get in your face. They aren't going to ever come and bang on your door. They run from their problems. They avoid them. They don't deal with anything. And yes, there's things in my life that I need to turn around and deal with. But I'm saying in general, clearly I'm a person with a strong personality who will get in your face. There are some people that don't. They avoid conflict. Like, I wrote something about what's going on, and 20 people saw it, and only one person like gave like the hug emoji, the care emoji, but people don't comment because they don't know what to say. That they don't say anything. Like, if someone dies, they don't say anything. The people in the military, if you call them on the phone about saying I'm sorry for your loss, they say something. Or even if you just say I'm sorry for your loss, as opposed to you don't know what to say, so you don't say a freaking thing. Say something, even if it sounds stupid, that every time I write I'm sorry for your loss with like a flower, like if someone died or their pet died, at least they know that I care about them. And maybe I don't have something eloquent to say to that like other people do, but I at least say something. And we live in a disconnected society that in a way this has made it way more disconnected, but I have social media. I can talk to people around the world. But in a way, it's made it more connected because more people have helped me out in the last year than when I tore my meniscus and couldn't even get a food bank to deliver. Now there's all kinds of things from Amazon to, although if you're disabled, you cannot use food stamps if they're EBT cash. You can only use EBT food. And so my food stamps sat in my account for months because I couldn't access them because I was too afraid to go into a grocery store. Although I actually did go into a grocery store. I hadn't been in a grocery store since March 7th of last year. And in February of this year, I put on a respirator mask and a face shield, and I put a surgical mask over the unfiltered exhale port on the respirator mask, and I put on a face shield and went into a grocery store to use an ATM because I felt it was safer than going to an ATM outside a bank alone at night to try and get some of the food stamps out of my account so I could pay for the food that I've had delivered that I've paid on my credit cards and paid $50 in interest like 1 month recently. But $50 in interest, if it keeps me from getting COVID and saves my life, then I'll deal with the $50 in interest. But like I need to take, like I said, I have a brother that wants to cure the world from COVID but doesn't seem to care if I live through this pandemic, if I get COVID and die, or if I um can't handle like the depression and the anxiety. And I'm not giving up. I'm trying to be an example of how to not give up. Although at the moment you might make a case for why are you yelling on a live stream at 1 in the morning? And I did call my sister in Israel, but apparently with the time change, they didn't change times yet. I do think they do, but not yet. So it was an hour earlier than I thought, and she didn't answer. But, if people want my advice, they can ask me. But if they don't want my advice and they don't want to listen to me, then fine. Um, Sometimes like, if someone says they never want to speak to you again, what if they change their mind in the future? Are you not going to talk to them? Well, maybe I'll talk to them if they change their mind, but I'm damn sick and tired of letting people treat me like crap and thinking that I don't deserve any better because I was raised in an abusive family. And when your own father doesn't treat you like you're someone that should be protected, it's hard to feel like you deserve to like have like, to care about yourself when your own like family doesn't seem to care. Even ones that did seem to care in the past don't at the moment. But anyway, um, and the reason I didn't block that person's comments was I'm not quite sure at the moment, like whether they were just being a troll or whether they were being serious and saying that they got triggered by my tone. Um, what does that say? Politicians propose a hotline to safely report hate crimes due to the Asian American attacks. So, and there's people that have been volunteering to like escort people, like if they don't feel safe going to the grocery store or like anyway. But I need to like do a better job of taking care of myself because it has gotten to a point where like it doesn't do any good if you order supplements like and don't open the package and take them. It's not good for your health if you like the vitamins don't do you any good if you don't take them. So, um anyway, it makes me really mad when people don't like they even had a discussion when I said I wasn't sleeping last night. I was watching a discussion with an ethicist about, well, if you're at a vaccine site and you're 20 and you don't have any underlying conditions, and there's a vaccine at the end of the day that's going to go to waste, is it ethical to take it or should you leave it for somebody that might be higher risk? And the person said, if you're not lying to get in that line and you're there at the end of the day where that vaccine dose is going to get thrown out and you don't know that the person who gets it is going to be any more like needing in need of it than you, then it's not unethical to take it at that point. um but you and I'm also not going to get triggered by comments like that. I like I said, can't tell if the person was trying to troll me or not, or if they were really getting triggered by the conversation that I'm having. But anyway, like, um, I cleared off the exercise bike and I'm up to 20 minutes and I can run one of the programs on it now because they start at there's two that are 20 minutes long and one at 30 minutes long, but I'm not going to do it at 1 in the morning. And it makes me really mad when people don't read my messages. And sometimes if it says that they read your messages or it says they didn't read your messages, sometimes that's not even accurate because sometimes a computer or like a phone will like make it look like they read your messages when they didn't. So it's not always the thing to go by, but in this case, I'm pretty sure the person didn't read my messages, even when I sent one trying to be supportive. But yeah, if I hadn't gotten that mad, I wouldn't have scheduled the vaccine appointment that I then had to cancel. And I'm wondering, like, and my neighbor might think I'm talking to one of my family members because I'm on the phone yelling at 1 in the morning. But no, those family members don't talk to me anymore, or they died. Like some of them died and some of them don't talk to me, so I'm not usually on the phone yelling at them anymore. So maybe I should count my blessings. But like I said, this is a risk to my health if I don't start taking better care of myself. And um an early diagnosis is your best chance of survival. So hopefully they won't find anything on the mammogram. But if they do, it's better that I get it now than that I wait another uh 4 to 6 weeks or more than that, because you have to wait 4 to 6 weeks after a second dose of a vaccine if you do it that way, which if you're getting a screening mammogram is what they want you to do. They want you to wait. But if you have an issue and you need to go, like, and I couldn't, it like, but no, I'm not gonna go in at 8:30 in the morning with no sleep to a very stressful appointment, and that would definitely trigger a panic attack, a migraine, or my OCD, and that can be prevented by not putting myself in that position, even if it means that I had to cancel the vaccine appointment. And when it says there's 26 people on here, are there really 26 people on here? I don't know, because the only person who's commented so far is a person that may or may not have been trying to troll me. So, and yes, now I understand why Lisa gets upset and shuts down her stream. And she has way more people in her stream and probably way more people trolling her. And when I say just ignore them, don't get upset and shut down your stream, well, I understand why it can trigger you when some of those people make comments. And I'm not a pretty blonde girl, so I don't even get those kind of trolls because they know that they are not going to come in my stream and fuck with me because they will be blocked immediately. I don't try to make friends with the trolls. Although she has turned some people around. But no, I don't give people that. Like, if it's a borderline comment, I'll give someone leeway. If they're just coming in to troll, they're out. So, anyway, um, if I calm down and I get in bed, maybe I will fall asleep before 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, maybe, wait, I only had 4 hours sleep. So maybe I had like 8 sips of cold brew coffee and one dose of decongestant. That is not enough to keep me up for like days. So, um, there's apparently flooding in New South Wales. And there was also an earthquake in Japan with what 7.0 yesterday with the tsunami warning, but they took the tsunami warning down. And one of the figure skaters, what Yuzuru Hanyu, is rebuilding the rink where he was when that earthquake hit in 2011, March 11th, Friday. Yes, that's one of my superpowers. But ask me what I remember about going to college other than being picked on by people. Um, and yes, it's very ironic when you get kicked out of an anti-bully community. That's just the height of irony. Um, but yes, I've probably been kicked out of better places than that. So anyway, like I said, I need to do a better job of taking care of myself and asking for help when I need it and not worrying about other people that don't want to address their own problems And like I said, people that run from their problems, you don't need to block them because they're not going to ever cause you any problems, because that they just they don't. So it says there were 31 people on here. And does red mean, what is red anyway? Was that Twitter, or was that, I don't think that was Twitch. Fears of what, rising vaccine hesitancy? I don't know if I read that right. Well, like, and my back hurts too. That started yesterday, and I guess I lost the delay, so I can't rewind that to see what it said. So, if what was the question that triggered someone to the point where they left the talk? Not, it wasn't a talk, it was a Zoom call. The question was, if you could go back a year, what advice would you give yourself? Well, I would tell myself to clear off the exercise bike and ride it 20 minutes every day for the last year. And I would tell myself to go down the steps and get the mail every day. And to do some kind of upper body exercise every day. Because once you don't do those things for a year, you end up with a big problem. And yes, at first it was, how's COVID spread? They were saying to quarantine your boxes and wipe down your groceries. And they were telling people to do that. But now, and then people thought, oh, well, you live in Portland. If you go outside your door, you're going to get attacked by the police. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I know where the protests are. They're not outside my door. I just now have an irrational fear of going outside. And also, it was raining today, and I don't feel well when the weather's like that. So anyway, instead of getting really mad about what other people are doing and whether they're doing the right thing or not, I just need to try and do better at what I need to do, and not try to do all of it in one day, because you can't fix over a year worth of being home alone from a pandemic in one day. That's a big setup for failure. You have to take it like one day or 1 hour or 5 minutes at a time. And so I have two choices. I can either get the mail, or I can, how long have I been on here? I don't know. You're not supposed to brush your teeth within 30 minutes of coffee or like something acidic, like I was drinking Gatorade, because then you can like mess up your enamel. But if it's been a half an hour, I should brush my teeth and get in bed. And anyway, if anyone has any comments, they can let me know. But it was the first day of spring, and I think March 20th is the day that Gloria Estefan had that accident on that tour bus in Pennsylvania in the Poconos, like in 1991. Should I Google that and see if I'm right? Let's see. I'm going to Google that. And what happened to my Google? I didn't close it. Did it shut itself down? Let's see. And this dizziness at night, is it dehydration? I don't, is it allergies? I don't know. Let's see. Gloria Estefan accident. What did I say? I said March 20th, 1991. Accident date. March 20th, 1990. I was off by 1 year. While traveling together on March 20th, 1990, the band's bus was involved in an accident with a tractor trailer on snowy Interstate 380 near the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Naib suffered a fractured shoulder, and Amelia received minor head and hand injuries, while Gloria suffered a broken vertebra in her back. She had a daughter after that. All right. So, all right, well, have a nice day, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye.